Every parent pictures the same image when they think about their baby in the womb, a tiny sleeping passenger, curled up, quiet, just waiting to grow big enough to arrive. That picture is almost entirely wrong. Right now, if you were picturing a pregnant belly, that baby inside is moving, listening, tasting, dreaming, and reacting to the outside world in ways most parents never hear about. They are not passively growing in there. They are actively behaving, hour by hour, inside your body. For most of human history, we treated the womb like a waiting room, a place where a baby simply got bigger until it was time to show up. That idea has been quietly dismantled over the last 2 decades by scientists studying something called fetal behavior. One of the leading researchers in this field, a developmental scientist at a major American university, spent years tracking fetuses through the second half of pregnancy and comparing their patterns to the newborns and infants they eventually became. Her conclusion was almost unsettling in how simple it was. Behavior does not begin at birth. It begins months earlier, and what you see happening in the womb quietly predicts who is about to arrive. So what exactly is your baby doing in there right now? There are several specific, well-documented behaviors happening inside your body at this very moment, and once you know them, you will never look at a pregnancy bump the same way again. Stick with me, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly how your baby moves, listens, tastes, sleeps, feels, and prepares for the outside world long before their very first breath. 1. They are constantly moving, far more than you can actually feel. The kicks you notice are just the highlights. By around 9 weeks of pregnancy, your baby is already stretching, turning, and making tiny jerky motions long before you can detect a single one of them. By the second trimester, they can somersault, bring their thumb to their mouth, and shift position dozens of times a day. Ultrasound researchers have even captured fetuses yawning, rubbing their own faces, and practicing crawling motions they will not actually use until months after birth. You are only feeling a small fraction of what is really happening in there. Most of it is too soft, too internal, or simply hidden from you. Your baby is busy. 2. They already know your voice. A well-known study out of a Canadian university had a group of fetuses listen to a recording of their own mother reading a poem, and a separate group listen to a stranger reading that exact same poem. When the babies heard their own mother's voice, their heart rate sped up. When they heard a stranger's voice, it slowed down. 2 completely different reactions, which means the baby could already tell the difference. Your voice, heard muffled through your own body hundreds of times a day, becomes the most familiar sound in their entire world before they have ever opened their eyes. It's also why newborns almost always turn toward their mother's voice within hours of being born. They have been listening to you for months already. 3. They taste what you eat. By around 20 weeks, your baby's taste buds are fully developed, and from that point on, whatever flavors you eat travel through your bloodstream into the fluid surrounding them, and they swallow it. In one well-known study, babies whose mothers regularly ate a certain vegetable during pregnancy showed a clear preference for that same flavor months later, compared to babies whose mothers hadn't. Your baby is quietly building their very first food memories before they've ever had a bottle. The flavors of your kitchen are already becoming part of their palate weeks before you meet them. 4. They have real sleep cycles. By the 3rd trimester, your baby spends roughly 95% of their time asleep, but it isn't one long, uniform sleep. They move through distinct states: quiet sleep with a slow, steady heart rate, active sleep with rapid eye movements and bursts of motion, and brief awake stretches where they respond to sound and touch from outside. Researchers tracking these patterns found something almost eerie in its accuracy. Fetuses with more chaotic, irregular sleep-wake rhythms in the womb tend to become newborns who sleep less predictably. Fetuses with highly active movement patterns tend to become more easily stirred, more reactive infants. In a real sense, your baby's temperament is already drafting itself before they've taken a single breath outside your body. 5. They feel your emotions. When you feel stressed, your body releases cortisol and adrenaline, and those chemicals cross the placenta within minutes. Your baby doesn't understand what's upsetting you, but their nervous system still feels the ripple of it. Researchers have recorded measurable changes in fetal heart rate and movement tied directly to a mother's emotional state. The reverse is also true. When you're calm, laughing, relaxed with someone you love, your baby receives that too. This isn't a reason to feel anxious about being anxious. Occasional stress is completely normal and will not harm your baby. What it does mean is that even before birth, the two of you are already having a kind of emotional conversation. You are never really alone in your body, and neither are they. 6. They are practicing for birth. Those small rhythmic flutters you sometimes feel are usually hiccups, and hiccups in the womb aren't random. They're your baby's diaphragm rehearsing the breathing motion they'll need the moment they're born. Doctors generally see this as a good sign that the nervous system controlling breathing is maturing right on schedule. Your baby is also practicing suckling, bringing hand to mouth, rehearsing the reflex that will let them feed within minutes of birth. Some researchers have even found that fetuses in the third trimester will turn their heads to follow face-like patterns of light shining through the uterine wall, meaning they already show a preference for human faces before they've ever actually seen one. Pulling all of this together, your baby is not waiting to start their life, they are already living it. They have a personality quietly forming. They have taste preferences already being built. They have a voice they know and trust, and it's yours. They have a rhythm of sleep and activity that will carry straight into their first weeks at home, and they already have an emotional connection to you that has been running for months before you ever hold them. The bond you think starts on delivery day is actually months old. You have been their entire world this whole time, and it turns out they have been paying attention to every bit of it. If this changed the way you see your pregnancy or the babies in your life, consider subscribing. New videos come out every week uncovering the hidden psychology of babies and young children. And if this one gave you something to think about, a quick like genuinely helps other parents find the channel too. We'll see you in the next one.